all you Golden Eagles. You're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. I'm your show host for today, Skylar Angus Barker. We've got a great show with some information about Andriel Allen recalling repairing vehicles for the military in which his friends were hurt or killed in, and Gabby Cox on keeping graduates in Hattiesburg. But don't touch that dial because Dr. Joe Paul will share some things that you don't want to miss. You're listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Look through your children's eyes to see the true magic of a forest. It's a storybook world for them. You look and see a tree. They see the wrinkled face of a wizard with arms outstretched to the sky. They see treasure in pebbles. They see a windy path that could lead to adventure. And they see you, their fearless guide through this fascinating world.
Find a forest near you and start exploring at discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Welcome back. In USM campus news, the University of Southern Mississippi and the city of Hattiesburg are excited to remind the community that Eagle Palooza is returning to downtown Hattiesburg for the first time since 2019. This highly anticipated free live music event is set for Friday, March 28th at 7 o'clock p.m., kicking off an exciting HubFest weekend. A press conference announcing the event's return was held February 19th, where university and city leaders expressed their enthusiasm for reviving this beloved tradition. Eagle Palooza has always been a cornerstone at the Southern Miss spirit, said Southern Miss President Dr. Joe Paul. Bringing this event back underscores our commitment to fostering a vibrant student life experience, both on campus and throughout our community. Eagle Palooza has historically been a highlight for both students and residents, creating an atmosphere of unity and excitement through entertainment and culture. Also in campus news, the National Center for Spectator Sports Safety and Security at the University of Southern Mississippi is pleased to announce the 2025 National Sports Safety and Security Conference and Exhibition, in conjunction with the title sponsor, CSA 360 Software. The event will take place June 30th to July 2nd, 2025 at the JW Marriott San Antonio Hill Country Resort and Spa in San Antonio, Texas. The 2025 conference theme, Setting the Standard, focuses on defining and implementing the highest levels of safety and security practices for sports and special events. This year's conference seeks to inspire a proactive approach to advancing safety and security programs by integrating people, processes, and technology. Attendees will explore how to create a culture of safety, build trust with stakeholders, and respond effectively to emerging threats while striving to set a new standard for excellence in safety and security. In Hattiesburg news, it's been a week now since nearly 20 tornadoes ravaged parts of Mississippi, and volunteer organizations remain on the ground in the impacted communities, helping provide necessities and assist in cleanup efforts. One special nonprofit, Mercy Chefs, is focusing on keeping victims and volunteers fed in counties. The damage here is just too utter, said Gary LeBlanc, Chief Executive Officer and founder of Mercy Chefs. It was so spread out. In rural Mississippi, everyone has little enclaves here and there. But this storm was on the ground so long, it hit almost all of them. So we're sending food out from a central location to 3 different counties using distribution systems we've set up over the years to give hot meals to as many people as possible. Last week's severe weather disrupted the lives of Mississippians all across the state. With more than 800 homes damaged or destroyed, residents are in desperate need for basic necessities. Mercy Chefs, currently set up in Tylertown, is making sure those folks know for now where their next meal will come from. We serve high-quality, handcrafted, and chef-prepared meals, LeBlanc said. Tonight, we are doing pork loin with mashed potatoes and green beans. Earlier today, we had a chicken taco. All of our meals come with sides, vegetables, salads, and a fresh-baked dessert and roll. We make meals that are familiar to people, something we'd sit around the table and eat as a family. Over the last 18 years, Mercy Chefs has served more than 28 million meals globally, assisting in more than 300 disasters. From linemen restoring powers to residents who have been left without a home, Mercy Chefs offers well-balanced and nutritious meals. And even though communities are grieving and putting pieces of their lives back together, LeBlanc said being able to come together in a time of need was huge. We believe very strongly that neighbors helping neighbors is the best way to recover, and here in Mississippi, it's incredible. The outpouring of folks who have come in to volunteer with us and drive meals to places and help our team as we do the cooking and cleaning here, LeBlanc said. The folks in Mississippi are so wonderful. It is very exciting for me to see how they continue to love each other. Also in Mississippi news, in partnership with Feeding the Gulf Coast, one state representative organized a food distribution on Saturday for those in need of assistance. The project also served as a community service project for high school students from 3 different states. Boxes, bags, you name it. Anything that could help carry more than 30,000 pounds of food was hauled across the Good Deeds Community Center in Gulfport to prepare for cars wrapped around the parking lot. Some of the associated things you see include meat, fresh produce. Those are the things we're giving out today, explained Representative Jeffrey Hulum III. Hulum is not only the District 119th state representative, he is also the CEO of Extend a Hand, Help a Friend. As a retired sergeant major, Hulum brings efficiency and strategy to the table. What you realize with Jeffrey and military members being here is logistically how organized it is, said Representative Jim Estrada. There's a formula that they have that us citizens don't know, but it makes for a quick, great distribution of food. When we bring our expertise together and lend it to our community, it makes for not just a better community, but a better quality of life for all people in the community. That's what it's all about, making sure everybody has an uplifting life. Nearly 40 volunteers packing the food are high school juniors and seniors. They're in town representing Pathways to Leadership, a program at the University of Mississippi's Trent Lott Leadership Institute. The goal is to bring them here to give them a taste of what it looks like to lead and serve in a community and give them a robust theoretical backing for that, said Ethan Davis, an assistant director of the Ole Miss Center for Practical Ethics. So what are the theories of leadership? How does it work? What are the theories for ethics? How does that work? The packed boxes will feed around 450 families with up to 4 family members. That's your news update from Southern Miss today. Next, we'll have the latest in sports and weather, so stay tuned. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mr. Sippy Beverages. Mr. Sippy Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mr. Sippy Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mr. Sippy Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
GOAT, G-O-A-T, acronym, stands for Greatest of All Time. As in, spaghetti sandwiches for dinner? They're my fave. Dad, you're the GOAT.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Welcome back with our action-packed sports segment. Let's dive into the latest scores, highlights, and sports. Get your jerseys on, because it's game day. Tomorrow, Tuesday, March 25th, At the men's tennis team will be playing against DePaul University, and the baseball team will be playing against Nichols. On Wednesday, March 26th, the softball team will be playing against Mississippi State. On Friday, March 28th, track and cross country will be at the Southern Miss Invitational until Saturday, March 29th. The beach volleyball team will be at the Sun Belt Mid-Season Tournament until March 29th, and the baseball and softball teams will be playing against South Alabama. On Saturday, March 29th, the women's tennis team will be playing against Texas State, and the beach volleyball team will be playing against ULM. On Sunday, March 30th, the men's tennis team will be playing against Georgia Southern, and the women's tennis team will be playing against the Ragin' Cajuns. Head on over to southernmiss.com to keep up with all the Golden Eagle sports activities. Now on for your weather. As for our weather today, look for a low of 60 with a high chance of rain and a high of 78. The feels like for today is 59 to 80. Tomorrow looks to be a low of 55 and a high of 82 with a low chance of rain. Tomorrow feels like it's going to be 85 to 55. Up next, we have Mississippi Moments produced by the Center of Oral History and Cultural Heritage with Anderal Allen recalling repairing vehicles for the military in which his friends were hurt or killed in. Check it out.
This is Mississippi Moments, produced by the Center for Oral History and Cultural Heritage at the University of Southern Mississippi and supported by the Mississippi Humanities Council. I'm Bill Ellison. As an Army mechanic serving in Iraq, Anderal Allen worked on a variety of combat equipment. He recalls repairing vehicles in which his friends were injured or killed.
Well, as far as my job, I went over as a mechanic. So anything break down, I go and recover it, bring it back in, repair it. Either repair it on the spot or bring it in. We was like southwest of Baghdad, about 38 miles from Baghdad. And we repaired the vehicles. A vehicle that probably hit by RPG or something like that, that was in an actual explosion. Those were the hardest vehicles to repair because as you're working or you're ordering parts for it, you sitting back and you're writing down, you're like, you know, my buddy was in this vehicle. And you look at the blast, the impact it done to the vehicle, you're like, wow, one of my friends was in this vehicle. So you working, then at the same time you're thinking. And it was tough. And especially to know you had a friend to actually die in the vehicle. And your emotion would be like, still, it's that mixed emotion. I knew this guy all this time and he lost his life over here. But then on the spiritual side, you're like, well, he's in a better place. So it's still that bittersweet thing.
Bill Ellison hosts Voices of Our People World War II, a new podcast from Mississippi Moments, sponsored by the Mississippi Humanities Council. That's Voices of Our People World War II, wherever you get your podcasts.
That was your Mississippi Moment for today. Coming up, we have the pleasure of hearing from Dr. Joe Paul after a quick break.
Sponsorship for Southern Miss Today comes from Mississippi Beverages. Mississippi Beverages provides water, water coolers, and coffee service throughout South Mississippi. Take half of your weight in pounds. That's how many ounces of water you need a day. Mississippi Beverages can help you reach that goal by delivering fresh water to your door. To get more information or to set up a cooler and water delivery, you can call Mississippi Beverages at 601-271-2420, or you can find them online. Sponsorship comes from American Graphics. Located at 8 Commercial Warehouse Drive in Hattiesburg, American Graphics provides custom screen printing and embroidery. They can be reached by phone at 601-602-2277. And the website is goamericangraphics.com. American Graphics, printing at its finest.
Welcome back to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Now, please give a warm Golden Eagle welcome to Dr. Joe Paul. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. Good to be with you, Skylar.
It's amazing having you here in the office today, especially being the Southern Miss president. I mean, it's such an honor for you to be here today.
Well, I'm happy to be here.
And I'm sure that most of our listeners will already know who you are, but just in case, for anyone who doesn't know you, can you introduce yourself?
Well, I'm Joe Paul, the 11th president in the history of the University of Southern Mississippi. I took classes here many, many years ago in this very building, College Hall, when I was a communications major. Glad to be here.
That's amazing. So with the main event being Founders Day, what exactly is Founders Day?
That's a great question and one that every Golden Eagle needs to understand. So more than 115 years ago. In fact, in 1877, a group of school educators, superintendents, teachers, parents in South Mississippi began lobbying the Mississippi State Legislature for a teachers' college in South Mississippi to meet the needs of the expanding population.
Yeah.
And they would go back and forth for years and years and years before finally passing legislation in 1910 that was signed by the governor on March the 30th of 1910 that established what is today the University of Southern Mississippi. So it's our legal founding day. It was not celebrated or recognized by the institution until about 1955 when we started celebrating it as the university's birthday. So imagine yourself in 1910 after a battle that went on for many, many years, finally saying there's going to be a teachers college in South Mississippi. And then 2 years after that, in the fall of 1912, the university welcomed 237 students to this very building, College Hall, in an assembly that was the first year of existing for what was Mississippi Normal College, Mississippi Teachers College, Mississippi Southern College, and today the University of Southern Mississippi. So it's the celebration of the birth of an institution.
Right. And with that celebration, how will it be celebrated?
Well, there are many ways. There are a lot of events throughout the week prior.
Yeah.
March 30th is on a Sunday this year. So the culminating event I'll talk about in a minute will be on the 31st. But we have events like Mingle Like You Mean It in the Cochran Center, where student leaders from noon to 2 can interact with young alums, former student leaders, grab some lunch. There's going to be a trivia cab on the 26th.
That's fun.
From 8 to 10 a.m., where you ride around the campus and test your knowledge of Southern Miss trivia and history. You're going to be able to pie a president on the 27th of March.
Oh, wow.
Not this president, Schuyler, but presidents of student organizations, sponsored by the Student Alumni Association. On the 28th, a pause, P-A-W-S, and relax. Southern Miss Therapy Dogs will be out from 10 to noon at Spirit Park, always a favorite. And then the big event in terms of students and alums is Eagle Palooza, 7 p.m. downtown Hattiesburg, with the feature artist being Briston Maroney. My favorite event for Founders Day or Founders Week is the Student Awards Day, where we recognize student inductees into the Hall of Fame, who's who, and we say farewell to the student government leaders of last year and actually swear in the incoming student leaders. And that happens in Mononey Auditorium at 3 p.m. on Monday the 31st.
Okay. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
And as the university president, what role do you play for Founders Day?
Well, I certainly want to be there as much as I can to help celebrate. And even after Awards Day, we'll have a birthday cake. The whole campus community can come and enjoy some refreshments and a little bit of time together. And then we've also got an event for alumni who are in our area at the Keg and Barrel on Monday afternoon, the 31st, that goes from about 4 to 6 p.m. So I try to be at everything I can be at. I will preside over the awards day and just generally be the cheerleader for Southern Miss.
Yeah, that's awesome. And what preparations do you go into for Founders Day?
Well, a lot of people go into a lot of preparations,
of course.
Particularly in our Alumni Association and in our Student Life Division. They just tell me where to be and what they want me to say, and I show up and try to do that.
Absolutely. And how does Founders Day relate to Founders Week?
Well, it's the culmination. So you want to, when a university's been here for 115 years and really evolved from a very modest teachers college to a nationally ranked Research One institution of national and international importance, there's a lot to be celebrated.
Absolutely. And I mean, I already love these like events that are coming up, and like I know my personal favorite one is going to be with the therapy dogs.
Yes.
Because I love dogs. I love being able to just have a moment, and especially having dogs that are like professionally trained to be able to like help regulate your emotions. It's an amazing opportunity for students. And then also with like this like cash cab type of event being with the trivia taxi that you mentioned. That's so fun. Do you know where that idea came from?
I'm quite sure it came out of student life, probably from student leaders.
Yeah.
So it's sort of two things in once. One, you can rest your feet and legs and get a ride to class.
Absolutely.
In the big open air vehicle, and then also have some fun with Southern Miss trivia and history along the way.
That's awesome. That's amazing. And you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but just in case any of our listeners missed it, when did Founders Day start?
Well, the founding of the institution obviously started March the 30th in 1910, but it was in 1955 when the Alumni Association said, we need to celebrate our founding.
Yeah.
And they started what was called Mississippi Southern College Day. And then later on, I couldn't tell you exactly the year, the name of that was changed to Founders Day. So we've been celebrating it for many years as well, as you can tell.
Absolutely. And with these events, are they usually the same for each Founders Week, or is it different each time there's a new Founders Week?
I think there's some combination. Some things come and go, but certainly the anchor is always the Student Awards Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Students are our why, and so to celebrate our founding with recognizing our best and brightest, our most accomplished students, is certainly a fitting part of that's been going on for a very long time.
Right. And how can us as students help support you and help support the University of Southern Mississippi during Founders Day? Is it just by going to the events, or what else can we do?
Absolutely. It is by attending as many of these events as you can, applauding your fellow students along the way, and just being good citizens of the campus community.
Yeah.
So maybe this week we've got a little heightened awareness that if we see a piece of litter on the walkway on the way to class or to the fresh, we'll pick it up and put it in the can.
Right.
Pay respect to this hallowed institution. We've been on these grounds for a long time.
Yeah.
115 years. It's
Absolutely.
quite amazing.
That is amazing. Well, I know that we're running out of time, but is there anything else you want to share with our listeners?
No, I appreciate you inviting me today. It's an honor for me to lead this institution, and I think it's helpful for all of us to come to know our history and to know that we are standing on the shoulders of those that came before us.
Yeah.
And think about those legislators and school superintendents who doggedly went to the state legislature for some 33 years to create a founding that's now become a really blossoming national research university.
Absolutely. Well, that's amazing. Thank you so much for coming on today and providing a voice for our Eagles.
Thank you.
Coming up, we've got Gabby Cox on keeping graduates in Hattiesburg. Check it out.
Mayor Toby Barker serves as the 35th mayor of Hattiesburg. He is a graduate of USM and is currently gearing up for his next term as mayor.
I think we're just getting started. I think the potential for this city is limitless. And as we approach the 150th anniversary in 8 years of Hattiesburg, we want it to be at a completely new level that makes it poised to go and compete with all those regional places that sometimes we lose that talent to, like New Orleans, like Mobile, Baton Rouge. We think we can compete at that level. And so I'm just excited about the future.
Valencia Hill gives her perspective and talks about why she likes living in Hattiesburg.
So something I like about Hattiesburg is that there's a lot of things to do. There's a lot of stores here that I've never been to, or a lot of restaurants. So I find it pretty cool. I actually found this new ice cream place today with my friend that I've never been to before. So I like how there's plenty of things to do.
Toby talks about why he wants to encourage USM students to stay in Hattiesburg after they graduate.
We hope that students will consider staying in Hattiesburg after graduation. We'd love to help them be part of that and try to help them find employment. And I just think there's a lot to be had here in our city.
I do plan to stay here after I graduate. Like I said, I'm from a smaller town. I'm a psychology major. There's more opportunities here for me than Meridian.
We will look forward to what's to come for both Hattiesburg and USM. Gabby Cox, SMTV.
Thanks for listening to Southern Miss Today on Southern Miss Radio. Huge thanks to Carl Wilson, our audio engineer, and Gabby Collier, our film producer, for keeping this bird flying. We especially want to thank our program director, Adeline Fields, our audio producer, Cadence Renfro, our show booker, Austin Flores, and our GM, Dr. Wilbur Martin, as well as our guests today. That's all for today on Southern Miss Radio. Don't forget to follow SM2 Media on social